everyone, and welcome back to my channel if you are returning or subscribed. And if this is your first video that you are seeing of mine, thank you so much for checking out this video and welcome. My name is Sam and I am your host and card reader here at the By Priestess, where if you are returning, you know we like to set some intentions here on this channel. So we are actually going to be saying goodbye to inaction, misunderstandings and miscommunication, and ego and false beliefs. And we're instead saying hello to inventiveness, authenticity, and success within our own definitions. If you are interested in setting these intentions, you can absolutely take a second, pause the video, and claim these intentions for yourself. And if you do have anything that you would like to release or say goodbye to, or invite in and say hello to, you can go ahead and leave them in the comments below, and I can potentially use them for future videos, so that way I can help you with your intentions. So this is part 3 in our spooky season series on this channel, where we are going over a vampire themed reading of what is draining you. We're going to be going over different energetic vampires within your life and how you can recover from them and release them for good. So I do have 3 piles here in front of me, and I will go over those in just a moment. But if you've never done a pick a card tarot reading before, each of these cards in front of me represents a pile or a group reading. Any card or cards, because you can pick multiple, that you're drawn to most likely have a message in them for you. Since the readings are for larger groups instead of individuals, they can cover a wider array of topics. So not every message could be for you. I just recommend taking what resonates and leaving the rest. Also, you do have free will and the future is not set in stone. So if any messages come through that are distressing or make you feel as though you are giving your power away, just know that some cards on the internet do not dictate where your life is going to go 100%. And instead, just take what feels best for you and know that all messages on this channel are divined with your highest good in mind. You do have free will, so anything that you do in response to this reading is completely of your own discretion. So to help you choose your pile better, I do have some crystal clarifiers associated with each pile. I am going to give you a closer look at them, and I will also give you a quick 30-second meditation, so that way you can take some time to select your pile's energy. We have some vampire-themed crystals today. These are all from Crystal Girl Always on Instagram. She also has her own website as well. She is a great ethical crystal seller that is a personal friend of mine that I can honestly say has really great inventory. So yeah, let's go over these. Also, I don't get paid to say that. That's just something that I genuinely think that more people should look into. But yeah, let's take a closer look at these crystals here. So for pile 1, we have a selenite coffin. We used this in our skeleton reading as well, so it may look familiar if you watched that video. So selenite coffin. For pile 2, we have a lepidolite bat. I love this crystal so much. I love them all. I love the coffin. I love them all, but I love this bat. It is adorable. Look at the little face. And then I have I believe this is a red jasper tower. So I have a red jasper tower for pile 3. It's that beautiful red color as well. I love this tower. This is one of the first crystals I think I've ever bought for myself, or I received it, and I absolutely love it. It's been through a lot with me, but it's cute. All right, so pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3. And I will start up the music for the 30-second meditation, and I will let you know when that is up. Alright everyone, so the 30 seconds is up, so if you need more time to choose your pile, you can go ahead and pause the video here, and then if you are ready, you can select your pile from the timestamps below, and I will see you at your pile. Bye-bye. Hi Pile 1. If you chose this selenite coffin, this is your reading. So I do have our cards pre-shuffled here. We're going to be looking at your energetic vampire, what is draining you, and some advice on how to overcome it. First, we're going to start off with your energy. So we have a card here that is pre-shuffled, and we have death. So I don't want to alarm you if you're not familiar with the tarot. Death doesn't mean an actual physical death. It doesn't mean you're going to die. None of that. Death is actually a really wonderful card that I think is honestly one of my favorites in the deck. Whenever it comes out for someone, I get immediately excited because death is transformation. And death is also openness to change. You may be a Scorpio, or Scorpio season may be significant for you. Death is the card of Scorpio. If you know your astrological sign. But death ultimately is a glow-up card, in my opinion. It is going deeper into why we are the way that we are and being open to changing that. So when I see death, I see someone who is open to change and is allowing in a new future for themselves instead of staying stagnant. So with death especially, I can see you curating your life, maybe taking stock of the things that you have. You may even be cleaning out a lot of things. You might be sorting through old possessions. You may be sorting through like old versions of yourself, or deciding a new avenue for yourself. You may be given a new opportunity that you can try to grow into and apply yourself in. I'm seeing somebody learning on the job of something new. They may feel unqualified for, but they're absolutely prepared for. There's a really beautiful energy of just allowing things to happen, because you know, or are learning, or you will know, that they are happening for you instead of to you. It really makes me see you as someone who is powerful. You may enjoy spooky season, but also I feel like you are very tapped into your own energy and your own intuition and who you want to be and where you want to go, and you're creating a framework of how to get there. I definitely see this as a transformation of like moving forward, of moving into something new. And there's a depth to you that I feel like maybe you may feel like other people take for granted, or maybe other people don't necessarily see very well. And so you might be working on trying to bring that out a little bit more and show new sides of yourself that maybe you haven't shown previously. So for your vampire that we have here, we have two cards. We have friendship, surprisingly enough. And we have Page of Swords. So I actually want to look to see in the book of the Oracle cards what friendship in the upright position means. So for friendship, we have seek counsel from those who know you well. Yeah, and that really is kind of what I'm feeling, of like, you're not feeling as though people see you. Or maybe you're trying to get a better idea of who you are and what you're capable of. So the recommendation is to look out for evidence. And the people who know you best can often give insight as to who you are, maybe a little bit better than we do for ourselves, because we're so clouded by our own limiting beliefs, our own like limited perspective. So yeah, I definitely recommend reaching out to friends. But this being a vampire as well makes me think that there are some relationships where you feel misunderstood. And with this Page of Swords here, I think you are in a position of trying to reframe things mentally. and it's very difficult. Now, I'm not a medical professional, I'm not a therapist, a psychologist, anything like that, but this could be like the development of new mental tendencies that are frustrating or harmful for you. This could be like new limiting beliefs, or something in terms of your friendship. Someone could have said something that hurt your feelings, and so you're constantly thinking about it, things like that. Like, there's a lot of mental energy here because swords is the mind, it's logic, it's our own inner thoughts, and it's communication as well. So with the Page of Swords, I definitely think something new has developed in a sense. And maybe you're working on it, maybe you're trying to see what's going on with it, maybe you do feel as though your inner world is different than the one that your friends see, or is different than the one that others see. And I definitely get the feeling of frustration here, in a sense, of like, why can't this be easier? Why can't something be easier? Whether it's a new career where you're learning on the job and you wish that things were better and easier for you, or why did I make that decision that I made? Or you're second guessing yourself a lot. I feel like you're second guessing yourself a lot, and imposter syndrome, like that sort of stuff is coming up. But I do want you to know that these are limiting beliefs and you can absolutely handle whatever this is. Death is a very powerful card of transformation and of learning and of change. So I see death as a very healing mentality. And I think that that's something innate to you, and you give this patience to other people, and maybe you feel like you don't receive that back. So there's something about asking for it. Asking for what you need from people. Especially with the Page of Swords being a card of reframing our mindset, or of a new mindset, taking on a new mental challenge. It may be something that's difficult, but it's something that's also necessary. So there's a lot of just getting stuck in your own way a little bit here. And that could be as a result of your friends. That could be as a result of different relationships that are draining you. This could be a specific person that is making you doubt yourself. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a friend just because the card is friendship. It does make me think that it is a more platonic relationship, most likely. It can be romantic, but I feel like it could be platonic, maybe even familial. You may have a parent that you are dealing with that is kind of judging the decisions that you make. That's coming through for a couple people. So you guys, this is a general reading, so there are a lot of things that are coming up for this as to what it is that is causing this feeling, but there's definitely a frustration and an insecurity here. And it is really draining you to show up every day and to keep trying to navigate your way through it. Or maybe you're getting lost in these negative patterns. Maybe you're getting lost in the mindset of, I'm not going to end up where I want to be. Whereas your card being the Death card really makes me feel like that's not true. Like, we are on the way to this beautiful golden gate of newness and rejuvenation and just love and benevolence. So like, I really feel like you are technically in a good space, but there's something that's bogging you down in terms of your relationships, and especially it's affecting your relationship with yourself. So really go through your relationships at this time, as well, in kind of the same way that I was saying before, of like categorizing what you need versus what you don't. Are there relationships that make you feel worse after, hanging out with this person than you did before? Do they have tendencies that like trigger or harm you, and only you know the answer to that. I'm not going to explore that too far, but there's a lot here of being frustrated about the way something is happening, like mentally. So here's a way that it is showing up in your life. You actually got two oracle cards here along with the tarot card. So we have egg, we have water, and we have the Three of Pentacles. So again, like, this is coming through in terms of a career sense of learning on the job, of your mastery of a specific field. So you could be like wanting to do something unconventional that people are making you doubt, or you want to do something that is right for you that may not have worked for others, so they feel the need to like tear you down. Like it's something like that, because with the Three of Pentacles we have someone here who is still learning their trade of what they do, but they are the only person. I just got like a coughing fit out of nowhere, so I feel like there's something that you want to say that maybe you haven't, or there's a conversation that needs to be had about this. Maybe you need to ask the friends that are supportive for help navigating this situation. Maybe there's something that you wanted to say to this person, or to these people, that you didn't get a chance to. And maybe you're kind of mentally beating yourself up about that. And I'm here to tell you, none of this is easy, right? Life isn't easy. Even the most joyful stuff has its own challenges, because we're constantly worrying about when the joy is going to end, or when that's going to be taken from us, or you're constantly thinking about all of these negative things that could happen. So sometimes it's hard to be vulnerable with people, especially the people that are more critical of who we are authentically. There is something here about career. I was just about to go over this card when I got like that coughing fit. I just want to say I'm sorry, y'all. If you guys hear like a motor running or anything, I guess my landlord is here to mow the lawn. And it's like right outside my window. So I didn't know that he was going to be here at this time. But yeah, they're outside doing yard work, I guess. So it might be a little bit loud from time to time. But I'm going to try to reduce the noise so it's not too crazy. Plus I play music, so hopefully that'll go over the sound of the running motor. But yeah, this is going to be my third time trying to say this. With the Three of Pentacles here, we have someone who's still learning on the job. This is someone who's still navigating the journey of the Pentacles, but they're able to plan out what they want for this project, and they are the most experienced person in the room in terms of this field. And so I think when you try to exercise that you do know what you're doing, and you are trying to move forward with your current plan, you may start feeling a certain way. I'm getting, like, especially with water underneath it, I'm getting like this feeling in like my chest of just like, do I actually know what I'm talking about? Am I saying the right thing? Like, I feel like it's showing up as like this hypercritical nature of, I didn't say that thing right, or I didn't actually do the thing that I was supposed to do. Whereas these people are completely fine. They don't know what you're talking about, so they're happy to hear that you know what you're talking about. And the thing is that you do know what you need. You do know what to do. But I even feel the need to kind of like stop this reading and like reevaluate the way that this is coming out, because like I'm not even sure if this message is coming out right, and I'm constantly thinking like, am I doing this right? Do I have the right people in this reading to get this message? And it's like, I know I do. I'm very good at what I do. You guys are very good at what you do. But there's this feeling of, what if I don't? What if I'm not as good as I think I am? Or what if... I'm just going to take a breath. Because there's this feeling in my chest that is like crushing me. And I really feel like that's how you feel. And this is how it shows up for some of you. Maybe you have, I mean, again, I'm not a psychologist and I'm not a therapist. So if you need like therapeutic help or just psychological help in general with like an anxiety disorder, panic, things like that, definitely seek that out with a professional, because I am not. But as someone who has experienced those things, that is kind of how it's showing up for me. So you may experience that sort of stuff, or it may just kind of be like this nervous energy of like, oh crap, I didn't say that the way that I should have, or maybe I don't actually know what I'm doing. Like there's second guessing that's happening a lot for you. So that's how you're going to know that this is coming up. I do want to see what the book says about egg and water, just to see if there are any specific messages, but I do feel like intuitively egg is about potential and what you think your potential is. When you're greeted with a specific like opportunity, there's an anxiety or there's this nervousness that comes up that makes you think that you shouldn't take it, because maybe you feel more comfortable like taking a back seat instead of a leadership role. The message here is that you are meant to have this leadership role. You are meant to be prosperous. You are meant to open up to change and transformation and let the universe take you on this journey that you're meant to go on. So for egg, take care when peering into the unknown. Literally being open to the unknown, but also knowing what is meant for you and what is not, what relationships are meant for you and what are not. You're not meant to constantly ruminate about whether you're making the right decisions or not. Your life is your own. You're allowed to make your decisions so long as you're not hurting anybody. And then for water, we have focus on your established routines. Yeah, so definitely keep doing what you're doing and know that you do have a successful mindset when you are allowed to consider these opportunities to thrive. Because death for me as well is a card of thriving. And I feel like with your energy here, something is disconnecting you from it. And so I want to get into our advice on what we can do to navigate this situation. So to overcome this vampire and this feeling, we have obsession and we have Seven of Pentacles. So Seven of Pentacles, again, we have this Pentacles, this career opportunity potentially, or these physical items, again, clearing out and planting new seeds and getting new things to replace the old. That's kind of what I'm feeling. So cleaning, honestly, might be really good for you. Cleaning your house, cleaning your room, cleaning your space, and just really taking agency over what you have control over. That could be really good for you. With the Seven of Pentacles, this is a card that talks about faith. We are doing this gardening work before the winter. We're planting seeds, we're trying to set things up for future success, but we don't know if it's going to work out or not. But we have to trust that the plants are going to do what the plants need to do to give us a prosperous spring. So with the Seven of Pentacles, the recommendation is to do the work that needs to be done and to trust the process and trust yourself, that you know when you're doing the right thing and you know when you are articulating things in the correct way. And you'll know once the outcome shows up and you're like, wow, I did that. That's amazing. This is going to be a long reading. Oh my goodness. This is already a long reading. Usually I give myself like, because I ramble or I have a lot of things that I want to say and share. I get preachy when I'm channeling. And so like, I tell myself, you get 15 minutes of talking and then you got to move on to the next one. But this is already, we're at like 25 minutes at least. So this is an in-depth reading for everyone. But yeah, so the Seven of Pentacles is planting these seeds and knowing that you know when to stop or when to like start again. I feel like with obsession as well, it's throwing yourself into your work and knowing that you are going to figure it out. Becoming obsessed with you, with your life, becoming obsessed with your own decisions and decision-making process, becoming obsessed with your own independence as you learn more about yourself, because there's this message here still of, well, I can't know what I'm talking about because I don't even know who I am, or I don't even know what I like, and like that sort of stuff. And that's all great, but like there comes a point where you're using that as an excuse to not move forward out of fear, you know? And I think that genuinely you are meant for so much more than what you're allowing for yourself or what you're allowing others to dictate for you. And then we have some advice as well, which I think is going to mirror exactly what I've been saying this whole time. We have the Three of Wands, the Ten of Cups, and the Two of Pentacles. Yeah. The Three of Wands literally is looking out into the horizon and waiting for the things that you've manifested, or waiting for the things that you know you're ready to create. You're going on a journey that you are ready to embark on, and you are excited to embark on. We've done the work of setting the plan, and now we are waiting for the journey to begin. We are waiting for our boat to come in. And yeah, so in my reading that came out on Wednesday, the witch reading, I'll put a little thing up in the corner if you want to check that out. There was a message in one of the piles about a plane, and getting on a plane. And that's the kind of message that I'm getting here, where it's like, there comes a point anytime that you're like boarding a plane, at least in my experience, but I feel like you guys will relate, of thinking about going back home and just being like, you know, I already bought the tickets, but what if I just get them refunded and I don't go to this beautiful destination just because I'm nervous about how I'm gonna get there or how this whole thing is gonna go? What if I just go back home? What if I like just go home and go back to bed because my bed is safe, my bed is comfortable, I know that nothing is going to happen. Like that sort of feeling of like, what if I back out? And even though you're scared, you force yourself to get on the plane. There's no backing out once you're on a plane. You can't ask the pilot to turn around so you can go to bed, right? So you just have to sit and you have to wait for this plane in the sky to get you to your destination. And you just have to trust that you're going to get there. You have to trust that this is all worth it. And then once you finally get off the plane at your new destination, you're like, wow, this is the most beautiful place I've ever been. You come back different. You you experience such beautiful things and so much growth because you have made this journey. Whereas if you just stayed in bed, you'd still be the same person that you were before, and you would have been too scared to do anything about it. So you are in the position where you have the option to get on the plane. And I think that you should, personally, but that's just my opinion. I'm just, you know, someone on the internet talking at you for 30 minutes. So next up we have the Ten of Cups. And the Ten of Cups is the ending of the cup suit, but it's also beginning as well, because 10 reduces numerologically back to 1. So I see 10s more of a cycle or in a transformation as well as the Death card. So with the Ten of Cups, this is emotional fulfillment. This is relationships and happy home. Like, this is really feeling complete culmination and proud of yourself. This is emotional fulfillment. This is feeling as though you've accomplished something and allowing your cup to run over and to fill others and to like refill itself. It is just constantly so full of love and life and experiences, and you're just so in love with it and in love with everything and in love with how things are going. So I really feel like this is something that you need to know is possible for you. You can create a life that you love. You can foster a life that you love. And you can also hold that space for other people too. Like, your relationships deserve to feel this way. Your relationships deserve to feel as though they're adding something positive to your life and adding something positive into you instead of detracting from it. So if you can get rid of this specific vampire of a situation or a relationship dynamic, I feel like you are going to start creating space for, like with the Seven of Pentacles, like I said, cleaning. You're going to start creating space for something more beautiful than you ever could have imagined. And then for the Two of Pentacles, I still see this as well of we're looking at the things that we like or we're looking at the things that we don't. We're finding a balance between the two, and we're knowing how to navigate those situations. We're able to explore new avenues in terms of our career or our like physical space. And we're happy to do the work, because the thing is, we know that even though it's difficult to let things go that are not meant for us, that it's going to replenish itself with something even better than we ever could have expected. That's really awesome. But I will say that that is all that I am seeing for you today, Pile 1. This reading is a lot longer than usual, so thank you for sticking with me if you've made it this far. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning into this reading, and I hope it provided you with clarity and perspective that helps you on your journey. And if this reading resonated with you, please feel free to like this video, subscribe, or leave a comment. I do read all of the comments, and I do respond as well. I do have a virtual tip jar as well if you feel so inclined, but you definitely don't have to leave a tip. They're not expected, but are definitely very appreciated. And if you are interested in learning tarot for yourself or developing your skills, I do have some resources and digital downloads available in my Etsy store, linked down in the description below. And if you're looking for more content from me, I do have more pick a card readings in my timeless pick a card playlist. We are currently in the middle of spooky season here in the United States. So I am doing a spooky month of pick a cards. So feel free to check out my other videos. We've done a skeleton video and a witch video so far. But I do want to say, if you are still here and listening, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being you, and I hope you have a great start or rest of your day whenever you are watching this, and I will see you with the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose this lepidolite bat, this is your reading. So today we are going over what energetic vampires are around you and draining you, as well as giving you some advice as to why this is coming up and how we can overcome it. So with your reading here today, I will say they are going a little bit longer than expected, at least Pile 1's did, so yeah, I just want to give you a little bit of a warning here. But yeah, so to start off, we have a pre-shuffled card for your specific energy, and we have the Page of Wands. So this is a really exciting card for me to see. So wands are the suit of passion, fire, your drive. You may be a fire sign, so Aries, Leo, I believe, and Sagittarius. I am not an astrology girly, but I do have a minor understanding of it. So if I got one of those signs wrong, I'm deeply apologetic of that. But you may be a fire sign. You definitely don't have to be to have this energy. Fire energy is inspired action, in my opinion. So I really see this as learning how to go for what you want in life. I see this as enjoying new passion, new creativity. Maybe you've started to feel more connected with your inner drive. I know I was in a season previously where like I was having a hard time keeping up with things, and I just kind of wasn't really interested in following passions and things like that. And then recently I've just kind of had like this fire lit under me, and I'm ready to be creative and try new things and experience new things as well. So with the Page of Wands, I see this as you embarking on a new creative endeavor, you connecting with life in a newer sense, more recently. I think you may also be learning something creative. You may be learning creative expression or trying to focus more time on that as an outlet as well. But I'm really seeing like you connecting with your inspiration. Maybe you see something that gets you inspired, or you are really trying to refine your creative process. But either way, I see this working out really well for you and you learning new things about yourself in the process as well. Because it's often when we do something creative or unconventional that we start to analyze why we are the way that we are or how we experience things as well. So I'm seeing this really working for you so that way you can better understand yourself and your next steps, especially. So for your vampire, while you are on this journey though, we have a couple oracle cards. It's supposed to only be one, but two came out for you. We have Help Me. We have Children of the Night. And we have the Eight of Swords here in the center. So with the Eight of Swords being in the heart of this vampire energy, and that's so crazy because Children of the Night, that's the vampire card. Wait, no, he's a vampire. So that just works out perfectly, doesn't it? So with the Eight of Swords being at the heart of the reading though, this is, for me, like classic limiting beliefs or anxious thoughts or letting the wrong thoughts in your mind control the narrative that you are in right now. So we have the queen ladybug right here. She's got an eye mask on and she's sitting amidst all these swords and she's acting as though they're keeping her captive when really she's just chilling in this like sleeping bag or cocoon. She is just enjoying the fact that she is cocooned. She's relaxed. Look, she's got the little blush on her cheeks. So she's acting as if these swords are the things that are holding her hostage, but they're all in the ground. They're not going to cut her if she just takes off the blindfold, gets up, and goes back to her castle. She's not actually in any danger at this time. But she's acting as if she is. And with this card looking the way that it does, it's almost like using fear out of convenience. So you kind of are using your fear of discomfort, fear of being seen, fear of whatever it is. It can be different for everyone, but like there's a fear of success in a sense, fear of responsibility, fear of being authentic. And these limiting beliefs about yourself are keeping you small, and you think it's okay because it's keeping you quote unquote safe, but are you really in any danger to also take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you? Are you actually in any danger to express yourself in new ways or try new things or go back to your responsibilities in the way that you would like to? So I'm seeing this as a sense of what was originally keeping you safe, what was originally a coping mechanism for you that you needed to survive is now turning against you, and it's draining you. You're putting yourself in a box before anybody else has the ability to accept you or put you in the box, you know? Like you're automatically like, oh, okay, there's this box here, I'm gonna get into it now. I'm gonna save you all the trouble of judging me and seeing the negative things about me. But you're not giving yourself credit. You're not seeing yourself as someone who is genuinely likable and who is able to make change and do really wonderful things and be loved even, and be revered for the things that you are able to do. So I'm seeing like this duality of I don't want to be seen, I don't want to be observed, I don't want to ask for help, but I'm also crying out for help internally because I have nowhere to go. I have nothing to do. So I do want to look in the book to see what it says about these cards here. So for Help Me, have faith in others, ask for help. Have faith in others that they're not all going to tear you down, you know? Like, a lot of times, if you're someone who experiences anxiety or like limiting beliefs about what people think of you and things like that, a lot of times you kind of see that as a self-deprecating thing. Like you see it as something that only hurts yourself, when really it hurts others because you're not giving them the benefit of the doubt and you're not giving them the expectation that they'll love you and that they care about you, you're immediately imagining them as their worst version of themselves. And so you're not being fair to others either. This isn't a victimless crime, this feeling. And I was always under the impression that when you were like people pleasing, or you were like avoiding conflict, or you were keeping yourself small, it was a victimless crime. It was something that didn't really affect other people. It only affected my potential, so it didn't really matter. But that's wrong. And I'm here to tell you, as someone who's learned the lesson, that is not a good way to be. It does affect the other people around you. It affects them so much. It gets rid of their ability to know and love the real you. It rids them of their opportunity to be accountable for their actions and who they are. It gets rid of their opportunity of a true connection with you. And it also rids them of whatever it is that you can provide for the world. So if this is something like, for this YouTube channel specifically, I'm going to use this as an example. Part of me didn't want to do it at all. And I was just constantly thinking about all of the things that could go wrong. And that maybe I was not doing it like in a way that would work for other people, or I was immediately expecting all of the most horrible things to happen. I was ridding myself of the responsibility that I have to exercise these gifts and to give these messages out to people, because I genuinely do it for everyone's best good, and I want to help. I want to help as many people as I can. So me prolonging this channel and prolonging, what I do in terms of tarot, me hiding these gifts and only using them for myself, it helped me. But then I saw people struggling with the same thing that I had been struggling with a year ago, 2 years ago, however long. And I've seen the effects of what these messages can do for people. But I wanted to keep myself small. I didn't want to share, because who could really benefit? No one. But that's a lie, and I know that that's a lie. This is something that I probably wouldn't have chosen for myself a couple years ago, and I tried to prolong as long as I could. But the only thing that's really happened is people have reached out to me and said that a message helps them, or that something really resonated and they felt seen. So whatever this is, this feeling of maybe you want to go along with this new creative endeavor, but you are telling yourself that, oh, you're not good enough, or oh, you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that, you might as well just not at all. Like there's this feeling of like there's an inner voice inside you that is just being so mean, not just to you, but to others. Your guides are saying it's not fair. It's not fair to you, and it's not fair to them. And there's like a really, I don't want to say like frustrated energy, but like fired up energy about this, because this might be something that you are hiding behind, and you kind of need to snap out of it. And that's the message that's coming through. But we're gonna give some advice on how to do that in just a moment. But there's this feeling of, come on, you deserve better. You can do better. Here, like, please just choose it, And they're waiting for you to make your decision. And they've been waiting very patiently. And they're ready for you to choose different, choose new, choose better. So yeah, let's look at Children of the Night here. Yeah, upright, it says, make it a night to remember. Yeah. Like, you have the opportunity to ask for help. You have the opportunity to make things so special for people, not just for yourself, but also for other people. And this feeling of, oh, well, it's all in my head, so I can't actually do that. It's affecting your ability to move forward with the things that are going to help you and change you for the better. And I'm not saying 100% that, like, you need to change. I think everybody is always in the process of changing in some way. But there's something that you are accepting a very, like, bare minimum on. Why do you want to sleep in the grass when you have a castle up on the cliff that you could just go to? you know? So there's something here that you're accepting too little of. And I don't want you to be mad at yourself years down the road and just being like, dang, I should have listened to that one tarot reader on YouTube because they were so right. But like, I want you to know that you are special. You have so many ways that you help other people just by being yourself and by being like by moving forward in a place of love. And I just feel like you're robbing yourself of all of the good qualities of yourself in your life and the people around you. And so we have some cards here as well on how you know when this situation is affecting you. So the different things that come up that show that it's this specific thing. We have flight, and we also have the lovers. So I'm gonna actually just move that way. So this could be affecting your love life in a sense, if we want to take the lovers in a more literal sense. This could be affecting your relationships with people, which that's exactly what I was picking up on before when I was saying, you know, it's not a victimless crime when you are holding yourself to a very low standard and low expectations. It does affect others. It affects people and what you think they're capable of and, you know, what they're able to provide for you in your relationships. So I do think that this could be relationship based. This could be something that affects your love life in a sense, these limiting beliefs. And, like, all of this is said with absolutely no shame. I know that some of these messages are coming out a little, I don't want to say harsh, but just very, like, they're very excited for you to implement these changes and very excited for you to catch on to this situation. So, really just be patient with yourself when these thoughts come up, but, like, you need to give yourself and the world more credit. But yeah, so this could be affecting your love life specifically, but I think it's also, you have very, like, flighty moods or, like, thoughts about yourself. So, like, 1 second things are good and you're like, wow, maybe I am really good at what I do. Maybe I am, you know, destined for this sort of thing. Maybe I do help other people just by being myself. You know, like, and you feel really, really good, but then something small happens and you're immediately like, wow, I'm the worst. And I'm laughing not because it's something you should be ashamed of or anything like that, but I do the same thing. So it's like every once in a while I will do the same thing. So I can't judge you for this. I really can't. But, like, it's something happens and you take such a hit to your confidence. And it really affects you so deeply because you don't have this unshakable sense of, I am a good person and I am, you know, I'm creative and I'm fun and I'm interesting and I do all this cool stuff. And, you know, like, you don't have a concrete view of yourself. And that could be something that you could ask for help with from your trusted friends and just say, like, hey, you know, what is it that you like about me? Why are we friends? Like, that sort of thing, if you need to. Or if you're with your partner, just saying, like, hey, you know, what is it about me that's special to you? And just start taking stock of the things that you really like. Because I don't think you have a full sense of who you are completely uninterrupted. And your perspective is very volatile. It's changing all of the time. With this, like, when it shows up in those moments of, wow, I'm great, oh wow, I'm not as good as I thought I was, I guess, or like things like that where it's like, wow, I'm horrible, or wow, I just really don't know what I'm doing, that sort of stuff. When that shows up, that's a result of this. That's a result of you not thinking of yourself highly enough, or you letting your limiting beliefs take the stage and dictate what you do. That's not fair. That's not fair to you. But when these situations arise, I definitely recommend trying to take, like, the high ground and say, like, hey, you know, I'm not all bad. Like, I did X, Y, and Z. Keeping a list of things. I know someone who has, like, a file on her phone that any nice comment she gets over, like, text or Any nice thing that's said, she'll add it to this file. So if somebody sends her a nice DM, she'll take a screenshot of it, she'll put it in the file. If someone texts her a nice thing, she'll take a screenshot of it, she'll put it in the file. She'll write down things that people say and then put that note in the file. So now when her self-esteem is low or she has a hard time with herself, she will go through that file of all of these really nice things and wonderful things that people have said to her. And she's like, but look at all of this evidence of me putting love out in the world and receiving love out in the world. So that might be something that's really helpful for you. And we're not even at advice yet, but that just came through. So I wanted to share that before I lost it. So for advice on how we can navigate this, you got 2 oracle cards again instead of just the one, and that's okay. We got the Call and we got Curse. And then we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. That rhymed. The Call, the Curse, Page of Pentacles in reverse. So for the Call, because it's on this side, it really makes me think of, what ideas do we not want to pick up the call on? What do we not want to listen to? Picking and choosing what perspective is going to be the loudest in your life moving forward, like that sort of stuff. That's the kind of vibe that I'm getting with that. And then the Curse, let me look at that real quick. So this says steer clear. Yeah, so with this internal battle that you kind of have to deal with of your own perspective, letting the perspective that you're not going to amount to anything, or like that people are going to be horrible to you because it's what you deserve, like blah, 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 blah. Like whatever your mind does in this situation. It is 12:12 on the clock, if that resonates with anyone. I just looked up and saw that. But the recommendation here is to limit yourself on what you're allowed to say about yourself. Because, like, self-deprecating jokes can seem all fun and nice and whatever, but the thing is, like, once you start actually believing these things about yourself, all of these negative things that you don't know enough, the imposter syndrome, whatever, you're really just punching down at yourself at that point. Like, you're really just making yourself feel worse. And trust me, the people around notice. Like, the dark jokes or the self-deprecating jokes, they're really just a way of you to vocalize just how negatively you feel. So, it's not necessarily funny. Don't use humor as an excuse to hurt yourself further. I don't know why that came through, but that also came through. So for those of you that use self-deprecating jokes or negative jokes or things like that, like, really watch your language about what you say about yourself, and it doesn't even matter the tone of which it's said. And for the Page of Pentacles in reverse, I think you need to slow down and be more open-minded. Don't be so stuck on only doing things one way. Have more fun. Don't be so rigid, I think is what I'm trying to say. Know that the things that make you special are always going to be there, and they don't actually take work. There's something innate within you, and you in general, just being who you are, is absolutely deserving of love. It doesn't take work. Additionally, if things are bogging you down in terms of work, in terms of school, maybe you're having a hard time connecting with the work that you need to do, finding the passion in it, finding the creativity in it, and really emotionally connecting to it in some way might help you move forward. But there is something about creating something that only you can create and bringing to life something that only you can do. And if you're in a position where you think the things that you say or do or think are not important, then these things may never happen. But if they do, if you allow them to thrive and you allow them to be created by you, I think something really beautiful is going to come out of that. And then we do have some advice as well We have additional advice anyway. We have the Chariot, we have the Two of Cups, and we have the World. So Chariot, Two of Cups, and the World. So with the Two of Cups at the center, this really does bring in relationships again. And love. Like for me, the Two of Cups card is more of a love card than the Lovers itself. So I really feel like if you follow this advice, if you move forward, you're going to have more harmony in your relationships. And that can be romantic relationships. That can also be platonic relationships, and familial relationships. There's something about recognizing what you bring to the table and appreciating that about yourself, and then also seeing what others bring to the table, and there's just a mutual appreciation of both parties involved, and you're constantly able to fill each other's cup. So really do not be afraid to talk about this experience, whatever this is, and let people know, because they might even relate to you in a sense, and give you some really good advice about how to navigate these situations. And then for the Chariot and the World, these are two major arcana cards that are really big deal. We have, with the Chariot here, a sense of freedom and independence. You driving the car of your own destiny. You can choose one way or you can choose another way. If you want to keep things small, I mean, it's up to you at this point. I'm just here to let you know that this is something that is draining you and hurting you. But if you want to continue choosing that, you absolutely can. But if you want to grow and change and learn and actually master something and learn to be really good at it, this is for you to apply your own sense of power and your sense of worth to it. And I really think that that would be really good for you, because we have the World, and the World is one of the most positive cards in the entire deck. This is a card of accomplishment. This is a card of transcending one experience to almost like enlightenment, in a sense, to a new level up that even you couldn't have imagined. It's being in full favor of the universe and knowing that everything worked out the way that it did for a reason. That something is really meant for you. And this is you going to get it. You have the world in your fingertips. They're just waiting for you to steer the cart. But yeah, I will say that that is all that I am seeing for you today, Pile 2. I do want to say thank you so much for tuning into this reading, and I hope that it provided you with clarity and helped you along on your journey. And if this reading resonated with you, please feel free to leave a comment, subscribe, or like this video. I do read all of the comments and respond as well. I do also have a virtual tip jar that is available if you feel so inclined, but you definitely don't have to leave a tip. They're not expected, but are very appreciated. And if you are interested in learning tarot for yourself or developing your relationship with your tarot cards, I do have some resources and digital downloads available in my Etsy store, which is linked down in the description box below. And if you're looking for more content from me, I do have more pick a card readings in my timeless pick a card playlist, or just generally on my feed. We are in the middle of spooky season at this time, even though this is a timeless reading. So this is video 3 of, I believe we're going to be doing 6 or 7 overall. So I have 2 out already if you would like to go check those out. But if you made it this far in the reading, I know this was a longer one. I do want to say thank you, though, for being here. Thank you for being you. And I hope you have a great start or rest of your day whenever you are watching this. And I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, Pile 3. If you chose this red Jasper Tower, this is your reading. So today we are going to be looking at what energetic vampires are currently draining you and how you can deal with them. So first, we do have some pre-shuffled cards here, and I have a card to clarify your energy. And we got the Lovers. I do want to say first things first, as I was shuffling the cards and trying to connect into your energy, I was having trouble focusing in on your energy. So you may have some issues with focusing lately. Or you may feel very like flighty or inattentive at times. And like that's perfectly fine, but if that resonates for you, I was really getting the feeling of just needing to ground myself and stay in the present instead of thinking about the future or the past. So I would definitely look into that if that resonates. And then with the Lovers card, you may be a Gemini. This is a card for Gemini. It's okay if you're not. But with the Lovers, we have a card of kind of like this duality of yourself. This is a card where I typically see it as shadow integration. So working through different aspects of yourself and accepting the full picture instead of one or the other. And also understanding the innate inner you that you have as well. You may be someone who can be distracted by the external or just like the people or the things around you. You may immerse yourself in your world. You might not like downtime very much, but there is a recommendation to kind of slow down a little bit and connect more with your inner self. That might be something that you're currently working on as well. Maybe reframing ideas that you have about yourself and your development as well. I do also think that you are a very loving person who gives a lot of attention to their relationships, not just romantic relationships, but platonic and familial as well. And I think that you are someone who understands the importance of working through difficult emotions when they come up. So like with shadow integration and with understanding more aspects of yourself than just taking things at face value, I think you really are an introspective person that looks deeper into your coping mechanisms and like why you do what you do. This is also a card genuinely of love, emotion, and sensitivity. You may be very intuitive. You may get very strong intuitive nudges about people. It is 1:11 on the clock, so if that resonates with anyone, that is what's showing up for my timer here. You are someone who is incredibly intuitive, whether you're someone who accesses it or not. There is also a recommendation to, like I said before, sit back, maybe meditate as well. So there's definitely a lot here in terms of how deep you truly are and how hard you work as well. I feel like you connect to your fire pretty well, and you're very good with like communicating in your relationships as well. So there's definitely a lot here for you. For your vampire, let's see what we got here. We have Fate, and we have the High Priestess. So with the High Priestess being your vampire, and with you being someone who is so introspective, you might always be thinking, you might always be working on something, you might have a hard time sitting back and releasing control. Specifically, control is what's coming up here. You might be more of a go-getter than just allowing things to approach you. You may be afraid of leaving opportunities behind. And you may also be afraid of being left out. That's something that's coming up as well. You may feel like you feel too deeply, or you focus too much on your relationships, and maybe they don't care for you the same way that you care for them. You may have been burned before in terms of relationships, or the way that you were treated. You may not have been treated in the way that you deserved, and so that has left some residual effects that have affected how you see yourself and how you operate in your relationships. So it might be something that really bogs you down in that sense. With the High Priestess, we have the Divine Feminine. Yeah, you don't have to be a woman for the High Priestess to come out, but this is a card of being more receptive to messages from the universe. This is a deeply intuitive card. So maybe you feel as though your sensitivity or these feelings that you have are a burden. I do want to look at what the Fate card says in the deck, but especially with Fate, you might have a hard time seeing how you live up to what it is that you want in your life. Again, that might be residual from relationships that have hurt you or things like that. But I'm really getting this feeling of not being able to control where you end up, or not being able to control where the universe puts you. I think this is also about how you feel the need to determine your own fate. And maybe with the feeling that I was getting where you're constantly thinking or you're constantly distracted, you might be constantly worried about the future. And with the fears that you have, I mean, in today's society, I'm going to be honest with you, like, who isn't worried about the future? But with you, it feels so crushing. It's just constantly playing in the background to the point where, like, you may not even know it's there, but there's definitely a shadow part of yourself that is afraid of continuing forward with things, or giving up control of moving forward and things like that. And I think that you've actually been operating on a level that is a lot lower than you think it is. And I don't mean that like you're not doing enough. I mean the opposite. You are doing too much. There's a part of you that feels neglected. And so I think you're operating on feeling really run down and maybe to the edge of burnout. You know the analogy of the frog in a pot of boiling water or something like that? I don't know 100% how it goes, but it talks about how if you put a frog in a pot of water and you just keep turning up the temperature at a very slow rate, the frog doesn't recognize the change in the temperature until it's already boiling. It won't notice that the heat is uncomfortable, and it won't jump out of the pot. And I feel like the temperature is really high for you right now, and you're still trying to operate as if the temperature was never turned on. And so you're holding yourself to a standard that is really detrimental for you. You, at some level, want to get out of the pot, but you kind of keep pushing that down and keep going anyway. So this is definitely very interesting, and it's very uncomfortable, and I want you to know that you don't have to feel this way. And if you are unaware of this, I'm glad that now at least you'll be aware of it, because yeah, it's very uncomfortable. And I think you've just grown to kind of accept it for what it is and just say like, oh, well, that's just who I am, I guess that's just how it feels to be me. When really it's not. You just have to get out of the pot. You just have to take a minute and figure out where your boundaries are, and then start setting those. And you'll be able to operate at a level that is so much higher than you currently are now. You're just trying to force something that isn't working. So we're going to see in what situation this comes up for you that you'll be able to recognize it. So we have nature, and then we have the Three of Cups. So with the Three of Cups, I'm already getting friendships, platonic relationships. So your friends may notice this, and they might say something about it. Or it may even cause strain in your friendships because you are not experiencing things in a way that you want to, in a sense. So I really feel like there's something about your relationships and your friendships that are going to start pointing this out to you, or you're going to start seeing them successful, and you're going to start seeing them thriving and doing new things, and you're going to be like, why can't I keep up with that? Why can't I do that? When really they're mirroring what's possible for you. They're just doing it in a different way. And so I really feel like you're going to start reevaluating what's possible for you and what it is that you want. And it's going to be because they're doing something that you want to do, just in a way that isn't detrimental to themselves. And so you're going to be able to kind of start navigating things a little bit easier. But I'm really seeing somebody getting an opportunity, or somebody like expressing to you what they're experiencing, and you just saying like, oh, I wish I could have that. Like, I wish I could do that. And the answer is you can. You absolutely can. It's just a matter of releasing control and releasing, the idea of setting yourself to a specific standard that's uncomfortable for you, that you don't even realize is uncomfortable for you. And then releasing some of that pressure. And then reframing. How can we, rebrand ourselves in a sense? I do want to see what this nature card says. Give me 1 second. So this says, actively meet each situation as it comes. And that's true. Taking a step back, letting the universe kind of take the reins for a little bit and let things approach you, maybe. Maybe this friend has some like connections and would be able to help you get a leg up of what it is that you want, especially if it's in a similar field. If it's not, that's perfectly fine too. They probably have some really good advice. So when you try to relax, when you try to take a step back and allow things to happen, you may feel very uncomfortable, and that's when you start feeling this the most. And that's all the more reason for you to continue doing it, because it's going to help you challenge these ideas that are hurting you or draining you. And then I do have a way that we can overcome this as well. So we have a card for Trickster. We're actually just going to put this straight head on. And we have a card for the 5 of Pentacles. So let's see what the book says about Trickster real quick. Okay, so with Trickster, it says, how is your own mindset framing this situation? And yeah, with the 5 of Pentacles, we have these two people that need help. They need refuge. They need, money. They need sanctuary. And they are, ringing this bell of just how miserable they are. But they're not looking behind them to see that this church with its lit windows would offer that sanctuary that they need. They'd rather just bypass community, bypass networking, bypass, getting to know people and asking for help. But they want to sit in this victim mentality of, I don't feel good. I don't like this position that I'm in. I actually don't like myself. Things like that. They're sitting in this negative mindset and they're using it as kind of their own individual echo chamber of, maybe this is all I'm going to resort to, or there's just this negative voice that I'm getting a sense of, being so hard on yourself that you don't even have to do it. You don't have to feel that way. So to break out of the system, you need to reach out to people. You need to create community. You need to allow yourself to be vulnerable to people and ask for help when you need it. Because sometimes all it takes is a friend to say, hey, you're being too hard on yourself. You're actually a really great person. And these are all the reasons why you're great. And this is why I know you're going to be successful. And I wish you knew that. And then from there, you can say, hey, this person said something nice about me. This person, wants me to succeed. And they're successful. And I want to be successful. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start being nice to myself. I'm going to start taking a break when I need it. I'm going to find out where my limitations are and set boundaries so that way I don't surpass them. And then I'm going to foster more healthy relationships. I'm going to foster a more healthy relationship with myself. And then maybe at that point you won't feel so one or the other. It's going to be more shades of gray, and understanding that you are a nuanced human being that's allowed to exist a certain way and is allowed to go for certain things so long as they're not hurting anybody else. There are some really beautiful things about you that I think you are, in the midst of all of this stress and pain. I don't even just want to say pain. I just this drained feeling, this lack of focus is really bogging you down to the point where you're not even seeing the good stuff anymore. And it doesn't just have to be about you. It could just be about a certain situation. It could be about your job. It could be about really anything. But something has lost its magic. And so I really recommend reaching out to someone, in a sense, to break out of that. It could be going to therapy. It could be just talking to a trusted friend. It could be journaling. Like, that sort of stuff would be really good for you. And then you do have an extra card here for advice. So everybody else got 3, but you got 4, because my pile 3s are special. So with the Knight of Wands, Knights are the court cards of movement. They are the ones that are currently going through the journey of the suit and are learning more about it. And so the Knight of Wands, I feel like, is bringing you inspiration. It's bringing you advice. It's bringing you something that lights your inner fire. So it could be creatively, it could be a journal, it could be art, it could something to break the monotony of your current routine. And then with the Magician, I'm seeing someone who's taking those creative inspirations and are really running with it. This is someone who has all of the tools at their disposal to then work with a higher power. So spirituality, if you so choose, or like a deeper sense of creativity, a deeper sense of self. Whereas the High Priestess is the divine feminine, we also have the divine masculine here. We have someone who is creating the magic and allowing themselves to be kind of a lightning rod of inspiration to create magic in their life. And then with the 5 of Wands, we have a bit of chaotic energy. Typically, this card shows like 5 different people with wands, like duking it out, like fighting. And this one is just a spider playing baseball. So I kind of see this version of the card as rolling with the punches. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you react to it and what you learn from the situation. This, I think, is a call to say, like, when you give up control and when you allow yourself to be a lightning rod of inspiration, or when you allow the universe to kind of take the reins a little bit, the fears that you have make sense. The fears that you have, however, are also a coping mechanism you are using to try to keep yourself small. So with the 5 of Wands here, sure, you may end up having to carry more than you're expecting. You may need to carry 5 bats in a baseball game, but you're still going to catch the ball. You're still going to have a fun time, and you're still going to remember that it's all a game. And then with the 4 of Cups here, when we're giving up our control, that doesn't mean we have to get rid of all of our boundaries. If anything, with the 4 of Cups, I see you discerning what is meant for you and what is not meant for you. And so when the universe brings you something, you don't have to automatically accept it if it's not for you. If it's not something that makes you light up inside or feel powerful or feel as though you can enjoy the game anyway, you don't have to accept it. If anything, you can just keep moving on. The universe here is trying to hand this little leaf this cup, and he's saying no. So discerning what you want to experience, who you want to be, and then allowing the opportunities that fit that into your space are going to help you grow and learn and change so much. So I guess I just want to ask you, who are you without feeling bogged down? Like, in your highest energy moments, what is it that you like about yourself? What is it that you like about you and how you experience things? What are your favorite things? How do you make it so you can experience them more often? But I will say that that is all that I am seeing for you today, Pile 3. I want to thank you so much for tuning into this reading, but I hope it does provide you with clarity and perspective that helps you on your journey. If this reading resonated with you, please feel free to like this video, subscribe, or leave a comment. I do read all of the comments and respond to them as well. And I do also have a virtual tip jar as well if you feel so inclined, but you definitely don't have to leave a tip, and they're just not expected, but deeply appreciated. And if you are interested in learning tarot for yourself or developing your relationship with your cards, I do have some resources and digital downloads available in my Etsy store, which is linked down in the description box below. And if you're looking for more content from me, I do have a timeless pick a card playlist as well as other card readings in general on my channel. This is a relatively new channel, but I will continue uploading every Wednesday and Saturday at 11:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you have made it this far into the reading and are still listening, I want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being you. And I hope you have a great start or rest of your day whenever you are watching this. And I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye.